Well, good morning, everybody. Another weekend here at the house. Another weekend of trying to get things straightened out or straightened up. Gotta get the garage cleaned up here. We got the engine out of the Durango. It's over at the guy's place that we took it out for. He's going to be going through it, and he was kind of wanting to know. He's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it done in one day, and want to know if we wanted to sit there and get it back in this weekend. And not going to happen. So most likely maybe next weekend we'll have the Durango back over, get the engine back in it, put everything back together and get it fired up. Kind of going to take it a little bit easy this weekend. I'm having issues with my foot right now with my RA, so it's a little sore. But anyway, need to get the garage cleaned up. We had some stuff that came in I want to share with y'all. And I started messing with some other stuff, test fitting some other things. And we still need to get the donor car in so we can get the engine and the transmission out. So hopefully we'll get that back in soon. So update on some stuff. Let's see, we took Ethan's SRT8 Thursday to the shop, had the exhaust done on it. So hopefully we can get it done or get it back maybe today or Monday. Ethan's Honda, we worked on it a little bit. He's still going to need a radiator core support from where it got hit and damaged underneath, but we got it pulled out enough to where he can put the tires on it and drive it. So I'll give you a quick look at that. So we were able to pull it out enough for him to put the tires back on it. It's driving actually pretty good right now. We did raise the suspension up on it about 1.5 inches because it was like way low. There was no suspension at all. It was basically bouncing off the tires. I think he wants it to keep it at that height. So basically we need to sit there and now get the alignment done on it. Get everything aligned on the rear of it. We got the bumper cover back on. And he went and got a plate for it. He's been driving it. I have to admit though, I mean, it's got a nice little strong setup with the transmission and the engine that's in it. But that was a little bit we done with that. I need to get the garage cleaned up, get it swept up, so I can get started on some other stuff. So let's get this cleaned up and then I'll show you what's going on. This is why I need a bigger garage. All right, I got the garage cleaned up a little bit. But at least I can walk around now. I had a couple things that came in already. And a couple things I've been waiting on. And so let's just get to it. So you remember I had decided to order some floor pans for this thing, and I reached out and found a company that made them, and they got here pretty quick. So the company is Classic Enterprises, and they were really helpful, quick response. Shout out to them, appreciate it again. I thought I was gonna have to wait a couple weeks for them to make them. When I got a hold of the guy, he sat there and told me that he actually thought he had a set in stock. And I think what happened was somebody had ordered them and decided not to get them. So I guess it's a plus for me because they got here really quick. So let's get this opened up. I mean, it's kind of opened up. I've already been messing with it. It's basically a complete kit minus the tunnel because I'm going to be using the tunnel out of the 300. It's not too shabby. So basically what it came with was the right and driver's side floor pan. It goes from the seam joint and the firewall towards the back seat area. These are the pieces that go around the seat in the back. So that's the passenger side one. Driver's side. That's the passenger side pan. They did already put extra metal underneath it for the seat area, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's already set up, ready to roll. Now there is going to be cutting, manipulating, because these pans are set up for the sedans, the wagons. So there's tiny little variances, but they're going to work. They're still going to save us some time. And like I said, big shout out to them again for getting them here quickly. This is the section here that meets up to the firewall. You actually have to bend these upward to get them aligned. It's got tabs in the back. On these, I've had, like I said, I've been messing one on the driver's side. I had to bend them in some more to get them to line up. But you're gonna have that. I mean, we're dealing with a car that was built in '63, and there's not a whole lot of market. So you're gonna have fitment issues. You're gonna have to do some manipulating, some massaging, a little bit of cutting to get them to fit the way you want them to fit, which is fine by me. I already knew in the back of my head I was probably gonna have to do that. So when y'all order stuff for your cars, I mean, there's people out there that do a great job on the fitment. But a lot of guys out there know that's been doing this for a long time. You know, you're going to have to manipulate things. You got to cut a little bit. And so don't plan on it showing up and it's going to be a perfect fit. You know, because each company's a little bit different about how they bend things. But just get that in the back of your head when you go this far into a car. And I've already been messing with the driver's side a little bit and seeing what I'm going to have to do to make it fit right, so that way I can make the cuts tighter on the passenger side, because basically they kind of more or less mimic each other. So this is kind of like, I guess, my guinea pig moment of, all right, what to do, what not to do on the other side. But for the most part, I mean, it's lining up. And like I said, I've got to do some massaging. Now, I did cut a little bit too much back here, but that's okay. I can always patch that back in. Overall, it's fitting pretty decent, especially since I added an extra support underneath here. So it also gives me something to tie into, just kind of make the body more rigid through here. But so far, so good. Now, I did have a trim here a little bit because this section actually comes outward towards the end of the door. So I do a little trimming here. And then up front at the firewall, I'm still manipulating a little bit and getting to work, because here's the seam here that comes across here. I'm trying to get this tightened up a little bit more, so I'm having to finesse a little bit. But so far, everything's lining up. This is going to be the part where I got to drill a hole in. That's one of the body mounts. And then a rubber piece goes underneath that. And, but yeah. So far, so good. So basically all I'm doing is test fitting right now. I'm gonna come back like through here, drill some holes out for spot welds. Tie that in place, spot weld everything else. And just do it a little at a time, because I don't want to work the panels any. But yeah, I think it's gonna work out. The other part we've been waiting on, and I kind of touched base a little bit with this in the last video where I almost got scammed. And so I reached out to the guy on eBay on the fender that I was looking at. It came in Thursday. And I mean, the fender is what it is. It looks exactly like it did in the pictures. So shout out to Ryan. And he did his best to package it up best he could and send it down. But man, the shipping about killed us. They considered it as an oversized package, so they charged us for that plus the shipping. So it was like $350 to ship this fender that we paid $300 for. So $650 for a fender. It's OEM. It is off of 63. But for another $200, that's about what we paid for the car. But it's the price you pay. It's here. It's out of the way. And I was kind of test fitting it Thursday night a little bit, just kind of tinkering with it. So here's the fender. And more, I mean, she's pretty solid. I can't complain considering it's an OEM fender. Now I am going to have to do some work on it, finesse it a little bit. These things are bad about rusting through here. The good thing is it's starting to bubble, so I can get rid of all that. Down here is solid, but you can see where it's starting to crack, so I'm gonna grind all that down, spot weld all that in, smooth it back out. So yeah, I mean, it's a very, very well, workable fender, pretty solid. It's got a couple little dings in it that we're gonna fix. But overall, I mean, it's a nice fender. The trim's coming off because we got trim, new trim going back on it. And of course, this got damaged a little bit in shipping, but like I said, I'm not worried about it. This section here was all caved in, so I don't know if it was from being taken off or shipping itself. So I straightened all that out. So little things like that I can deal with. Got it test fitted. Like I said, I still got to do some alignment and stuff like that. And I knew I was going to have to cut some stuff out of it. And one was to clear the alternator, as you can see here. So I'm thinking about doing away with part of the inner fender well. Now there's a line right here that comes across this way. So I think I'm going to follow it out the rest of the way, or maybe come down this way a little bit with it. I'm not sure yet, and get all that out of the way. Now on the driver's side, it's set up a little different because they had a battery box. I went ahead and cut this out of the way because this was almost up against the engine. But I think what I want to do is I want to mimic this side. I like the angle that it's coming down this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this section out here. I'm going to fold this section out to match the angle on the passenger side. And whatever plating and what I'm going to add to make it match with this is what I'll do. Because I don't want to do away with the fender well altogether, because this car is going to be driven on the street. So give it a little bit of protection. But as you can see, I mean, it's going to fit. It's going to be tight. We are going to order a radiator for it. I'm just using this one for mock-up. So we're going to occupy the same space as the original, so I got to get the dimensions on that and get it ordered. But I think I'm going to have just enough room to put an electric fan in on the inside, so I think we're going to be good there. And of course, I'm going to have to make my hoses because I want the in and out on the radiator to be on the same side. So I have a neck here, one at the bottom. Of course, I'm going to make some hoses to go from here over to there, same as the bottom. But it leaves me more room on this side, because after I get all this bent out and do what I want to do, I'm going to make a little air box to tie in over in here. So a lot of fab work coming up, but the good thing is I'm test fitting everything. Everything's lining up for the most part. So I can't complain about that. I think I might go ahead and put the new nose on it and see how that's going to line up. That's what's going on right now. We'll be doing another video on us actually working on the floor pans and getting things set, getting everything tack welded. Like I said, I'm taking it easy this weekend. Let my foot chill out so I'm not hobbling around. But that's basically what's in now. That's what's going to be happening. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And, you know, it's free to y'all. And I appreciate all the support. And we'll see you down the road.